Friends, Jesus taught by using parables. His preferred method, not by laying down rules or regulations, but by inviting us to ponder. There are no commandments, just stories with profound and hidden depths. As if to say, here, reflect on this, consider your own life, what do you see? And this parable often draw on ordinary and earthly moments, like a shepherd, searching for a lost sheep, a woman sweeping the floor in search for a lost coin, or a merchant seeking a fine pearl, or a farmer sowing seed. Today's gospel parable is unique. It's one of the few in which God appears as a character and even speaks. And this alone should make us pause. God is speaking, so we must listen carefully. A man comes to Jesus with a legal concern. Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me. Did he think that Jesus is like a lawyer, a judge? Or perhaps just one of the rabbis, learned, well-versed in the law. Or maybe he was hoping for a wise ruling in his favor. But Jesus somehow sidesteps this request as if to say there are courts for that, like Judge Judy. Still, he seizes the moment to teach. A parable follows, giving us a chance to reflect on our values, our priorities, and how we perceive life. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. The story begins very well. Again, who wouldn't want to be in that rich man's shoes? Security, abundance, prosperity. Picture his dining table, his ample table, laden with food, surrounded by important guests. Picture his vast estate. But he has one big problem, his biggest problem. He doesn't have a place to store his harvest. Again, who wouldn't want, such a problem? It's like winning a lottery and now you have to decide how to spend it. But here comes a turning point, the twist in the story. And just when we are lulled into comfort and admiration for this successful man, the parable turns and gives us a twist. A verdict is delivered, harsh and sudden. God speaks. You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and all things that you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Notice here, it doesn't say that God takes his life. But who will? Perhaps a jealous relative, which may be recalled back at home in the Philippines. We used to say, if there's an inheritance, there is a relative. Or a thief, or a robber. You see, riches attract envy and sometimes worse. The man's life is about to take a sudden turn, and there are other ways for our lives to take sudden turns. The result of a medical exam, a phone call at 2 a.m., or a death of a family member or a beloved friend, a layoff at work, a breakup of marriage. These and many other crises can make life very difficult to bear, but they can be devastating in our life if our lives are not rooted in God, who is our rock in hard times and our strength to see us through. What matters is this: in the midst of comfort and self-congratulation, the man's life utterly collapses. All is lost. Why? What caused his downfall? One striking detail of this parable is that he speaks only to himself. What shall I do? I will tear down my barns. I will say to myself, there's no one else in this world. No wife, no relative, no family member, no mention of neighbors and friends or workers, not even God. He is a man wrapped in his own echo chamber. He consults no one but himself. And God calls him a fool. Because we are not made to be alone. We are part of a community. Our decisions affect others. As the poet John Donne reminded us, no one is an island. Where his employees is struggling, could they have had shared in his abundance? He doesn't ask. He is governed by no sense of limit. How much is enough? How much is too much? He is deluded by his possessions. He calls them good things. And those good things serve no one but himself. And let us remember, the man's logic earned him God's rebuke, you fool. Friends, today's readings interrogate us. What is truly important in life? The poet Mary Oliver asks, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild, precious life? And that can be a rather frightening question. That is why Jesus' teaching today is clear and sharp. He offers an alternative. Take care to guard against all greed. One's life does not consist of possessions. And so was St. Paul, a second reading today. Seek what is above, because we have died. Our life is hidden with Christ in God. In the light of this parable, being rich in what matters to God means something deeper. It means not making life's big decisions in isolation. It means discerning what God desires. It means praying and listening. It means asking, what's next? And inviting others into the conversation, especially those whose lives are affected by our own choices. Spouses, families, colleagues, and communities. So what does it mean to be rich in what matters to God? It means not trusting in things that cannot last. Oh, vanity of vanities, all things are vanity, says Koheleth in Ecclesiastes. Another word for the Hebrew word vanity could be breath or favor or vapor. It denotes transitoriness, fleeting, passing. Everything is transitory. What does it mean to be rich in what matters to God? It means viewing our possession in light of others' needs. And as we look around our world, our prophets shared among all stakeholders. Are the workers benefiting from record-breaking profits? Or like the rich man, do executives and corporate boards simply seek to build bigger barns? It means asking, how much do I really need? It means recognizing the real blessings of our lives, our relationships, our capacity for compassion, the gifts of creation that nourish and sustain. Each of us, sometime this week, can make our own inventory. Who or what do I treasure? What makes me rich in God's eyes? I want to end conclude by simply acknowledging the generosity of so many of you to our parish appeals. Your generosity is amazing, bringing food for Columbia Community Care, the food casseroles for our daily bread, the baby items for Columbia Pregnancy Center, the backpacks, and the school supplies, and the collections to our Sunday, in our Sunday masses. It's very obvious that the reign of God is alive in our midst. We act and respond because we believe Christ's real presence, not only in the Eucharist, but also in the poor, who reveals the face of Jesus. And for that, we give thanks to God. We don't need to construct bigger barns. We can echo the words of the psalmist today. Lord, make our works prosper. Lord, make our works prosper. Amen.